So now you supposed to have been studying, haven't you? Isn't that what Drawley set up? Can't say that he didn't, because he certainly did.
Well, yeah, he did.
And then he said, come all ye Asiatics of North America and hear the truth about your nationality and your birthrights. You're not Negro, black, colored, or Ethiopian. Come and link yourselves back with the families of nations. Now, look at Act 1 of the Divine Constitution and Bylaws. He says the chairman and moderator is put in power to make law and to enforce law if he lives according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And it is known by the members of the Moorish Temple of Science, i.e. Moorish Science Temple of America. Is that not what's written? So meanwhile, while our people are in the learning stage, those occupiers are fighting over your estate, hoping that you don't wake up. But when it all boils down, when they restore the republic, guess what? They're restoring the obligations of the treaty. I suggest that you read civil orders issued to Barack H. Obama by Pope Francis. And then you'll understand why I've been saying what I'm saying. Trump is assigned. I told you that. It's a chess move. And our people are behind the curve. The heirs of the estate are behind the curve. All this time while they're battling, you should be studying and doing your shadow work. And nature will take care of the rest.
I would think, though, in this battle that's going on, if Mr. T's side is...
So you don't look at that. They're two sides of the same coin.
No, but I know that. If he and whoever is with him should prevail, that we have a better opportunity or chance
that's
of restoring
move. That's the chess move.
Our estate, because of and the reason why I say that is because of some of what was done while he was still in office that many Moors were not aware of, that
exactly.
he's actually
those executive orders.
He had made executive orders. He had sent information. I have copies of letters that he sent telling Moors to come get their stuff.
Exactly.
That they were entitled to it.
Exactly.
That had I saw them. I have copies.
Say public for our people, what can you lose? What do you have to lose? You keep voting for the Ku Klux Klan, i.e. the Democratic Party, which means the cabal. And it doesn't mean that the rhinos of the Republican Party are any better.
Right, because you got them on from both sides.
This is why they've all been countering him. That's not defending Trump. It's understanding the chess move. He was put in place to restore the Republic. And I suggest that you all read the civil orders from Pope Francis to Barack H. Obama. You can pull it up on your phones right now, and that will be your answer. I wasn't unaware of what I was saying, and I wasn't unaware that people would take it wrong. I didn't call them that they were Moore's direct heirs. However, we have interest in their affairs, and they're battling over your lost estate. Pay attention. And be prepared to take your places of restoration of your estate. That's why over the last 10 years or so, I've been telling people a reversion of estate, because it's promoting a concept of thinking. So that you're doing your studies in the area of competence that our people, as these things collapse, because they are collapsing, for our people to restore competently a right of claim of their estate, and not be distracted or diverted by people among our own who are parasitic in their character, which his sister was talking about earlier, that we got to cleanse from among us, who are really secret operatives working secretly with the Bar Association, making these things complex when they're not complex whatsoever. It's just our people need to purge themselves of false thinking and false paradigms. But it doesn't mean that they're not supposed to look at things. I'm not saying that. No. I'm saying because everything is a chess move. And even when you look at things that Drawley did earlier, you'll see them falling in place right now. It's called fifth-dimensional chess.
Here's a question. Can parents request the surety bonds of teachers, faculty when they are found not to be doing their jobs?
Repeat that again.
Can parents request the surety bonds of teachers, faculty when they are found not to be doing their
Of
jobs.
course. Have our people been suing them, going against their surety bonds? Have they been doing it?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't.
So now, isn't this back to the principles that we were talking earlier, that our people need to know how things are structured, how they work, so intelligently they themselves can restore their right of estate by doing what? Making claims against those who trespass. Write this word down too. Trespass against their estate that they didn't even know that they had. Back to the birthright issue, isn't it? And so my appeal is to people, is to us, to start doing things intelligently, more intelligently, and that the fact of our people having a comprehension of what's going on itself will bring the unity. That our people aren't going to come in unity just because it's a good idea and just because we need it. You cannot take an ignorance and liberty do not harmonize together. You know how they say when they make up these artificial figures in history, like Harriet Tubman and others, give our people illusionary works about liberty and stuff like that, to actually divert our people from recognizing that they're really the heirs of the land, and make them think they're running around the land from Europeans who are the Americans type concept, which is totally fraud. And then once they understand this is their estate, their whole paradigm will change, their frame of mind will change, their frame of reference will change, and their actions in the process will change. All of these are chess moves. They're doing chess moves to try to keep themselves in power, still pretending that they're government. And what you'll understand when you go into this is why we also tell people to read House Joint Resolution 192, because you'll find out that all the offices of the United States have been dissolved. So all these people claiming these offices are fronting. This is why I keep reminding people that make sure that you comprehend what de facto means when we're saying it to you. But because our people are behind the 8 ball, which means they have not been studying, and people who should have been teaching them been playing leader guy games with them rather than telling them the truth. And then they keep going to these de facto agencies seeking remedies that they're not going to get. And then giving them data to be used against you.
Here's a question from Jakari Bay. Why hasn't anything publicly changed yet 8 years later since the letter from Pope Francis to Obama?
A lot has changed.
Is that all on Trump?
Really, a lot has changed. Trump, keep in mind, Trump is a sign. He's a symbol. If you listen to Trump, his diction in relationship to the corruption, right? In truth, it's average. Yet the activities are more complex. So you know a lot of the policies of the transfer of misprision operatives to Gitmo, etc., is a more sophisticated operation than what you see on the surface with Trump. Trump is a figurehead. I said that before, and I'm saying now. He was assigned. The presidency for the United States is dissolved.
Okay. Can you briefly explain the gold tassels around the US Maritime Banner flag?
You already know that law of the seas, admiralty law, piracy, booty, and prize, which is what's been taking place, and the people have been the booty and prize. And this consciousness is to get you in your own consciousness out of that jurisdiction. Stop consenting. How do you stop consenting? By enforcing the Constitution, like Durali said. In the process, you're enforcing the treaties, and you're enforcing the proper jurisdiction of what you call diversity, i.e., all treaties in force, etc. And this is back to lesson book 14 and 14A1 that we've been promoting since 92 area.
Okay, here's my understanding is that the laws being followed in the U.S. are based upon natural law. I know nationality is important, but how is nationality in alignment with natural law?
Because it's nature's law. Nature's God, nature's law that you see noted in the unanimous Declaration of Independence, which is adopted from fatwa or Muslim law, which Obama mentioned when he went to Egypt. See, it's not that these things haven't been said. It's apparent that people aren't emphasizing it. Are we clear?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying that not to defend anybody's position. I'm arguing that a lot of these things have been exposed to the people, and people who should be emphasizing it are not emphasizing it. Same with the rights of indigenous people. Even when you deal with Act 1, Part 6, relative to them stealing people's children. And they have no lawful right to do that, but yet the people aren't going after their bonds, are they? They're going to the corporate court venues of human trafficking, trying to get due process and getting frustrated. Is this not the conversation we've had with family members in recent times, Dr. Nayo, that you're aware of?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And so when you're looking at the offspring, you're looking at, from a principle of admiralty, you're looking at property. Of properties and persons, isn't it? Well, haven't we been saying it for years?
Yep.
And I'm not trying to say that we're right and everybody's wrong. I'm not saying that. I'm saying if I present a position, I present it on established fact and research. And then I encourage people to do the same so it becomes their own. Don't look at following what I say. Don't look at it from that perspective. Because I don't promote that paradigm. I promote the liberation, that it becomes your own. I promote that if we're going to be in unity and harmony, that they just follow the leader guy paradigm of the Piscean age is over. It's sort of like Drew Ali said. He says, man, go to the altar of Allah and place your hand in Allah's hand yourself, because the priesthood is dead, type thing. You understand? He's Drew Ali was all about liberation, and people, always try to twist it back into this, follow leader guy. Drew Ali always said, he said, some of your grand governors have followers. Some of your grand sheiks have followers. Some of your sheikesses have followers. But I, your prophet, have no followers. People got to pay attention to things because he gave signals. But I'm not going to argue it. I'm just going to say, make it your own. And choose to act on it or choose not to. The point is, take responsibility for your destiny. Because the issues of cure have been placed before you. And caveats for what you did not know, keys were placed before you to lead you to them, with the instructions that you study and make it your own. I.e., every man, every woman, every child must confess their own. Stop looking for someone else to confess for you. And then look up the word confess too. And you're going to find out it means more than you think it does.
It's a question. 2 questions. Well, I'll do this one first. From Christian Gogan. Why does the Pope kiss the feet of, it says, Black Moor ritualistically to commemorate the creation of their people?
Because you already know, they all know who is the real fathers and mothers of civilization. This is why even after they teach the BS in the public forum, they go down in their chambers and bow down to the Moabitess Madonna. And then the dirty ones will call it Black Madonna, which is no damn such thing.
Okay.
See, they do that. See, if you really study the dark priesthood and a lot of the demonism that they do, and a lot of Satanists that they practice, Satanism that they practice, you'll notice that in different methods, whether they do it by signs or symbols, or whether they do it by some allegorical story, etc., they will literally tell the people what they're going to do. Or they'll tell them the truth even if it's coded. Mm-hmm. But that's because they have knowledge that the laws of nature does not recognize person or station, and that all things living, all things being in existence are subject to those immutable divine laws, whether you're taking a positive or negative position. Therefore, for protection, or what you call karmic reduced response. This is why they focus on deception and fraud in order to get us to agree to fraud and commit violations, and then they, like a jackal, comes and devours the corruption that we agree to, etc. This is why people who really comprehend this thing, even though it's kind of rough on us, will say, say that people are slaves by consent. But then that must be examined to comprehend it, so that people, don't play victim all the time.
This question, okay.
Because we've been trained to play victim, and that mentality is also designed for us to give up our power and think that we are powerless against this stuff, when that's not true.
Here's a question from I'm stuck. It's not letting me go over there. And that's something. Stop. Okay. Sadiq Hog L says, "You know all this, brother Tarik Bey. Why aren't you?"
No.
Let me finish. You know all this, brother Tarik Bey. Why aren't you teaching this in the Moorish Science Temple of America?
You go to the Moorish Science Temple of America, that is what you call an outreach arm. And when I'm in the temple, like they say in Asbury Park, as an example, or even in the temple that was set up here in Delaware, Republic Territory, I taught these things. But I also, from experience, have recognized that in some of the temples, because of the infiltration, this information would not be allowed. This has much to do with the history of why I founded the Roundtable in 1982, and also why I'm here at the House of Reawakening Mind, where I'm not censored. And with that as a note, I would suggest they do the research and read the letter from Prophet Novadralis himself, referring to the infiltration and then trying to take over the movement and trying to disqualify him. It's documented. And also, for people to pretend that the movement was not infiltrated is dishonest. Because you already know that many of them, and you'll have a lot of people that over the years have come in the movement, because as you already know, Dr. Naila, I've already always by practice of the Roundtable, by protocol, sent people to the temple who were not there, had not gone to the temples. And you know a few people from your experience of people who's come to the House of Reawakening Minds that I've sent them to the temple, and they had that experience for themselves. As soon as they started sharing some of this information in secret or in private conversation, they would admit that they were right and would shut them down.
Right. But you know that all temples are not like that.
I didn't say all temples.
I know that. I mean, you and I have had this discussion.
Now, here we go again.
No, we're not having.
Not for you. I'm talking about for people in general who make those kind of statements without research.
Right. You and I have had, I'm going to publicly say this, we've had major discussions with regard to temple.
In our evolution in studies.
Right. And I personally told you and others that I would never,
your experience.
No, I would never join a temple because of what I've seen. However,
from experience, but then you have some that are enforcing the law. Gindrali said, the time is going to come. He says, the time is going to come when more is going to come into the movement with their eyes wide open and will enforce my law. Why would he say that? Except the caveat is that with the recognition that those who were in seats at the present were not enforcing the law.
Right.
Isn't that quite obvious?
Mm-hmm.
When you do the research into the FBI papers, FBI documents, infiltration into the Moorish movement, and also in the congressional records, when you do the research into the history of American religions, you'll see a lot of organizations that have been claiming nation of this and nation of that were breakoffs from the Moorish movement due to infiltration, but that's not known openly to the public, is it?
No.
But it's documented, isn't it? So when you find these things out for yourself, it's another frame of mind than someone just telling you these things, isn't it? When you start walking the walk yourself, isn't it?
Right.
Then you start going to some Moorish Science Temple of America, and then you see them acknowledge the Moorish Holy Temple of Science operations, Because Noble Drew Ali set up a civic organization, didn't he?
Yep.
Give me the literature book, and I'll read that to you for some people who don't know.
What literature book?
The literature book.
But for the record, I have joined the temple.
Now,
so there are. Right.
Here's the literature book issued in the Moorish Science Temple of America, and I want you all to pay attention to this. And this is also addressing the last statement or question that was presented to you that we were answering, right?
Yes.
And I want you to pay attention because this will answer much for you. Moorish leaders' historical message to America. And I'm going to read all, and it'll also give you reference points for research. So be patient. It's not too long. It's only a couple pages. However, it's important for anybody who has questions about the Moorish movement. Very important. In connection, this is Moorish leaders' historical message to America. Noble Drew Ali. In connection with the aims, objects, rules, and regulations of the Moorish Science Temple of America, I deem it proper to submit to you a brief statement of our organization covering its inception, rise, and progress, and of the Mohammedan religion, which I hope will be satisfactory to you and be the means of causing you at all times to adhere to the principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice in your relation with mankind in general. I further most anxiously hope this brief statement will help you to more clearly see the duty and wisdom of all times upholding those fundamental principles which are desired for our civilization, for our posterity, and as obedience to law, respect and loyalty to government, tolerance, and unity. We organized as the Moorish Temple of Science in the year 1925 and were legally incorporated as a civic organization under the laws of the state of Illinois on November 29th of 1926. The name Moorish Science Temple